Hey, 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 you guys. Hey, it is your girl, Myra J. Stepter here, the Chief Small Producer and Holistic Mindset Strategist and Spiritual Life Coach. Listen, I wanted to come in and talk to you. We were supposed to have our broadcast come on yesterday, and it didn't quite happen. We usually drop a video on Thursdays, but I wanted to make sure that I honored my promise to drop weekly videos, even if it was just a little bit late. And so I decided today we're just going to go live versus recording. So today's topic, I know that you are jumping on because you are wondering, what am I talking about? I just want somebody to help me. Well, the reason for that post is because of a conversation. So I know that you're coming in because you're interested in figuring out, what am I talking about with I just want somebody to help me? Well, this is about how you're supposed to get help with what you really need, right? That's the point of all of this. How to get help with what you really need. So, a couple things that we're going to look at. A few points, I guess you would say, a few points that we need to take a look at. First of all, what is it that you're even trying to do? What are you trying to do? So most goals have multiple layers. I'm looking at my notes here because I had to make sure to write this down, because I actually was talking to somebody today and they were saying, that this very thing, I just want somebody to help me. And when they were saying it, I asked them, well, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you ultimately need help with? And it kind of created this whole look of, well, I don't know. You know, and so most goals have multiple layers. Okay. Most goals have multiple layers. So if ultimately you want to be a billionaire, um, that's a great aspiration, and you're going to need help becoming a billionaire. But ultimately, what are the layers that are going to be required in order to get there? Because that's where you need the different levels of help, or the different types of help. And it's okay to get help for each level. So if you want to be a billionaire, maybe you need a few bits of information about what it takes to be a billionaire. But even beyond that, maybe looking into the different areas, getting clarity on what it is that you need to just be a hundredaire, right? And then be a thousandaire. Because guess what? Starting off at zero, you probably won't have the layers and the levels that are needed to actually have the mindset to become a billionaire, but you probably need to do the consistent steps that are required to create multiple thousands over and over again, right? And if you don't have that, then the billionaire thing is never going to come. So it's okay to get help at the jumpstart point, and then move up and get help at the middle range point, get help at the next level, get help at the next level, and so on and so forth. So the second thing, do you need help to determine what you need help with? Do you need help to determine what you need help with? So the example is, you want to be an entrepreneur, like I said, but you don't even know how to figure out what you need to know. And it's okay to ask the basic questions. So this is the thing. I've dealt with a number of entrepreneurs over the years, and the issue that I have found with several of them is the fact that there's so many different nuanced levels for being an entrepreneur, that you don't know what you don't know until you figure out that you don't know it. And usually you figure out that you don't know it when you've exhausted every option, when you've done all the things, and then it's like, oh shoot, I didn't know that. So, and you may be a person that has a certain level, a certain status, and you're thinking, well, I don't want people to know that I don't know that thing. So you don't ask the basic questions. And then before you know it, you are in a pickle, because there are some things that you didn't know and some questions that you didn't ask because you were afraid of what someone else was thinking of you, or what someone else would think of you. And you didn't stop to determine what you need help with, right? And this goes into the third thing. Be open. Be open. So you might know everything about something, but there's something that you don't know about something as well. There's something that you know nothing about. And in that, make sure that you thrive in the areas that that allow you to shine, right? But then also go back and make sure that in the areas that you don't know, go gain knowledge, right? I think about a number of entrepreneurs out here. You might be the greatest coach, you might be the greatest business mind, or helping people figure out certain things in business, or helping people learn things at a different level. And then there you may be a terrible marketer. Then that means that you probably need to go back and learn the thing that you don't know about marketing, right? Or you need to get the help of someone who knows everything about marketing and let them operate in their zone of genius. But either way, you need to get help. You need to be open to receiving the help in the area that you really don't know something about. It doesn't take away from the fact that you know so much about something else. And this is me speaking to the choir, okay? I'm preaching to the choir here myself, because for years I knew what I knew about what I knew, which I know a lot of things, but there are some areas that I don't know everything, and it's okay. So be open to the fact that you may not know everything in other areas and even you might need to learn more about the area of expertise that you even have, because catch this, that's why many professions have continuing education, because there are new and amazing ways to do the things that you do. See, you see what I mean? There are new and amazing ways, and there are new and amazing ways to make it faster, cheaper, better, whatever. Somebody may have found something out, and now they're offering their expertise in that area. So what are you trying to do? Do you need help determining what you need to find help for? Be open. And then listen, number 4, take the meat and leave the bones. Don't another side to that is don't follow everybody at one time. So that's actually almost two different things. When you take the meat and leave the bones, understand that that also means that you can learn something from everybody. You can learn something from everybody. It doesn't mean that just, I've heard people in the past, because they didn't like someone, because they didn't like the way that someone did something, then she can't tell me nothing. And see, sometimes you forget the fact that there are many instances where you can learn from the way someone does it incorrectly. There's always something to learn, but take the meat and leave the bones, meaning that there will be times where someone will say something and you'll be like, I don't necessarily agree with that 100%, but maybe I agree with 20% of that. Then take that 20% and learn from that. If it's going to push you forward, if it's going to show you how not to do something, take that 20%. But you don't have to take all of it just because someone said it worked for them. I tell folks all the time, there are a million ways to do one thing, and each of those million ways worked for somebody, but also each of those million things don't work for somebody. So whether you have whether you're looking at someone and saying, hey, guess what, that thing worked for them, so let me try it. Guess what, it may also not be the thing that works for you. You may have to try something else. So take the meat and leave the bones, right? But now also on the flip of that, I said, don't follow everybody at one time. Don't follow multiple people at one time. And the reason that I say that, you guys, about don't follow multiple people at one time is because when you're following multiple people at one time about the same thing, what ends up happening is you're trying to implement all their different ways, and doing all of that gets very confusing for the process, because again, there are a million ways to do one thing, but in each way that worked successfully, there was a certain follow through process that had to happen. And sometimes when you start doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this, it doesn't necessarily make it better. It makes it more convoluted. And then you're sitting back going, well, why didn't that work? Because there was a specific process. You didn't achieve anything. That goes into the psychology of achievement for most of us. If it's not working, and you're brand new to this thing, then what ends up happening is that failure, if you don't have a win to fall back on, that failure can knock you straight out of the gate, right? And it'll knock you down straight out the gate. And if you don't have that push forward, that move forward mentality, then trust and believe it's not going to work out for you, right? So another thing to look at, another thing, I think it's like 5 or 6. It was supposed to be 5, but I guess because we split the number 4 into 2, then this is going to be number 6. Ask and be ready to take action. If you are asking for help, but you're not ready to take action on the help, then you're wasting not just their time, but you're wasting your own time. And that's not fair. You know, I know it's not fair to them, but it's also not fair to you. Because if you have no desire to move forward, you have no desire to take action, you have no desire to make anything happen in that situation, then guess what? You are just wasting time. You could literally just go do something else. If you're an entrepreneur, that means that you're wasting time on your job. If you are, or you could be wasting time on a job if you're not going to run your business properly. So even if you're scared, even if you think you shouldn't do it, even if you don't know how it's going to end up, always make sure to ask for the help when you have the expectation, not of them to give you the help, but you have the expectation of, when I receive this help, I'm going to take action. So ask and take action. It is a huge pet peeve of mine for someone to come to me, and it's happened over the years to the point where I was like, I'm not helping anybody else for free. I'm not doing any more favors for anybody. And I said that because so many people were coming to me asking me for help, asking me to help them get their mindset together, asking me to help them think differently, see differently, feel differently. I have a gift for helping people believe they can fly, even if they don't have one out of one wing. But they were coming to me asking me for this help and then not taking any of the action, not implementing anything. And I had to start even checking myself and not go to people asking for their help when I knew I wasn't going to implement what I was asking them for help on. If they told me something and I knew I wasn't going to fly with it, why in the world was I wasting not just their time, but mine? Okay, so just to kind of recap on how to get the help you really need, you've got to determine what you're really trying to do and understand that each of those things has a level. There are different levels to your ultimate goal. Do you need help determining what you need help with? Sometimes you got to step back and have a clarity session or 2 or 12 to just gain clarity on how and what you need to even be asking questions on. Many people don't know what questions to ask because they don't know what questions to ask. Ta-da! Be open. Be open to receiving the help, receiving the information, receiving the knowledge from someone else. Take the meat and leave the bones. Get the knowledge that you need, and stop looking at everybody like, oh, I can only learn from XYZ kind of person. You can learn from the successes and the failures, okay? Also remember, don't follow multiple people at the same time about the same thing. If you have a business coach that you're following, follow your business coach. And if that business coach isn't coaching you in a way that works for you, then go get a completely different business coach. Don't decide that you're going to follow this person and follow that person at the same time and start doing differing things. Again, because there are a million ways to do one thing, but all of those ways don't mesh well together. And then finally, ask and be ready to take action. Yes, ask and be ready to take action. It doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're going to ask for help, then have your pen and paper. But after you have your pen and paper, have your get moving. Have your get moving ready and go, go, go. All right, you guys, well, it has been your girl, Myra J. Stepter. I'm thankful that you were here to hang out with me today. We were trying to keep this a little short and sweet. If you want to connect with me, you can go to Myra J. Stepter on all social media platforms, but also specifically for a discovery call, you can go to bit.ly/clarity with Myra J. That is in the description. Also, for those of you that are interested in wearing your empowerment, you can go to our Teespring store, Empowered Smiles Apparel. There's a couple different designs there to just help you wear your empowerment, right? That's what we're trying to do, is walk around with empowered smiles. Also, starting February 6th, you can go out to or come here. I'm sorry. Did I tell you to like and subscribe? I meant to. You can come here to this channel to catch the setup, Smile, Empower, Thrive, the setup where entrepreneurs are going to be giving us their empowerment stories of achievement. They're going to tell us about the moment they knew they had to do the thing that they did, and what gave them the ability to make it happen, the ability to push forward toward it, even if they're not 100% where they want to be. But what does thriving look like? What does empowering yourself look like? What is the thing that you focus on that makes you smile in your purpose? So we're going to be talking to different entrepreneurs every Thursday at 2 p.m. So catch us live or catch the replays and watch us then. In the meantime, remember to smile at the person in the mirror, because that gives that person the permission and the empowerment to smile at others around them. And honestly, it just helps make the world a better place. And I believe that my smile is designed to launch millions, but I cannot do it without each and every one of you. So, with that being the case, I look forward to hearing about how you made today smile worthy. I'll talk with you guys soon.